Hi, everybody. Earl here with another episode of the podcast from the Cryptopolitan. And today's guest is Vanina. Vanina, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Earl. It's
Oh,
a pleasure to be a guest on the podcast.
thank you so much for coming on the show. Well, let's get right into it. The first question is tell us about your project, what you're working on, and what are you excited about?
What am I not working on? Might be a better question.
Sorry, are you the chief everything
um,
officer or what? No.
I'm the middle-aged woman with the raging ADHD. So yeah, there's always a million things happening all at once. I'm currently a part of the serotonin team,
Mhm.
and at serotonin, we are basically bringing emerging technology to market,
Okay.
helping all sorts of Web3 projects. I am consulting on multiple different clients, helping them make the
Mm.
most of their potential and reach their marketing goals.
Okay.
That's
Sounds good.
that's my day job. Outside of that, I am working on passion projects, and I don't know if that's if I should brag about it or feel sad about it, but all of my pet projects are also related to Web3 marketing. That's my thing.
Right.
I got into it by chance, and I can't imagine a life outside of it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, so tell us about some of the, I mean, why don't we talk about one of the projects you're working on as a consult for serotonin now, and maybe tell us more about what the serotonin group is about.
Serotonin is an amazing organization. The company was founded by Amanda Cassatt, who was the CMO of Consensus at the time when Ethereum was going to market. So she's one of the people who essentially took Ethereum to market.
Yes.
And working in the presence of such a giant is a little bit intimidating sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you,
Fair enough.
but also incredibly, incredibly inspiring. To have access to such a giga brain and be able to tap into it and be like, "Hey, Amanda, what do you think about that?" Or "I'm struggling with this. Can you help me with this thing?"
Right.
The one thing that one funny tidbit about me is that before I joined the serotonin team, I was a serotonin client with one of the companies that I worked with before. So
Okay.
I kind of knew what I was getting into,
That's really
and I
cool.
wasn't disappointed. It was fantastic. It
So,
was
so,
like,
so Serotonin is a consulting group that helps Web3 projects, and you were one of the projects, and now you're on the other side of the fence.
and
How
now I'm on the other side of the fence.
That's
I'm in
really
the
cool.
kitchen now.
Nice, nice.
So that is, yeah, that's pretty exciting. I
So in,
don't
in
think
the
I'm
world,
at liberty to disclose about the projects that we work with at Sertanian, but we work with the most interesting, the most fascinating projects
hmm,
in Web
just
three.
speak in generalities. We don't have to name names or name drop or
Oh
anything.
yeah, of course.
But in
I
terms
mean,
of in terms of like the Web3 marketing space, what have you noticed that are patterns in the space that have emerged now that weren't there like maybe 3, 6 months ago? What's changing in the space as you see it?
what's changing? One peculiar fact, and we were just talking about that internally earlier today. One peculiar fact that I noticed is that note sales kind of like appeared out of nothing, out of
Okay.
nowhere. And then in a very, very, very short span, we
Hmm.
went from what the F is a note sale
Right.
to, oh my God, that's so exciting, to I'm so tired of note sales. Like these are the new ICOs, and like, can we can we not?
Right.
Um, so that was, yeah, that was interesting. But what's also interesting is, just as we saw with the ICO era back in 2016, 2017, there was kind of like a peak, and then we went down,
Well,
and then we
the same
went
could be
back
said with
up a little
NFT,
bit.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that it's just that with note sales, things are developing
Hmm.
so much faster now than anything else that I've seen in Web3. And I think that right now we're kind of like entering in the second golden era of note sales, which is also exciting. And I'm
Hmm.
seeing a lot of projects with really strong potential on the market. So that's one trend. Basically using, and I don't know that if that's marketing per se, but it's very much marketing adjacent.
Right.
Having a project funded through a note sale.
Yeah, yeah,
So
like like you said, there was the ICOs, and then there was the whole NFT era, and then now there's node sale era, and now it's da 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 da. Da. And then the funny thing is, each of them, I'm looking at the velocity of how each of them grew, and I think it's getting faster, but also shorter, right? So
yes, yeah. I mean, on the one hand, yeah, but then on the other hand, when you look at the grander scheme, the industry is maturing.
mhm,
I
absolutely.
remember that, when I started working in crypto marketing, again, that was 2016. Um, Companies were being run more like a bunch of kindergartners got together and decided to run a business, right?
It's like the
It
old dot-com
was,
bubble, right? You remember? So,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So we were playing it fast and loose.
mm,
Um, but something that I'm seeing recently in the past couple of years, I would say, is that we are maturing as an industry and we're beginning to run businesses as proper businesses.
mm,
No, I mean, we're not as stuck up as, corporations,
right.
and we probably never will be because of the whole
Well,
crypto ethos and like the whole
exactly.
narrative. Yeah, I can't imagine that happening. Like, I can't imagine a crypto project using, I don't know, Microsoft Teams, for example.
Right.
But um, but we are getting into a phase where there's a lot more
Mm,
structure to things, and I see that as a positive. I see it as a good thing for the whole
I
industry. Kind of like
agree.
that helps us weed out mercenary projects with no actual technological value.
Right, right, and the actual utility, like so I've been doing a bunch of these interviews now. I think this is like interview number 11 or 12 or 15. I don't remember now. There's a whole bunch coming, so it all just kind of comes in waves. And I noticed that the utility of each project is increasingly becoming better over time, right? Where before, like the white paper was full of garbage, now it's like, oh, we actually do this. It's like, oh, wow, that's a real interesting use case for it, right? So there's, like you said, I agree with the maturity of the market, getting out there. So that's also that's also a good thing. It's not like you said as stifling as corporate, but there's a bit of both world, I think.
I think, yeah, absolutely. You
Mm.
said it really nicely. It's the best of the both worlds. I would say.
Well, it's a good
So
balance. You can't it can't just be the Wild West all the time, every day. You go crazy after a while.
it burns you out. It burns you out very
Yeah,
quickly. So I think
for
that,
sure.
if you want to build something and if you want to build something sustainable, then I think that
This
you
is the
should.
better. Yeah. Well, as I get older, right? Like when I was in my 20s, it was like, oh, go, 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 right? And as I get older, it's more about sustainability and like how long can you make this thing last for and make it really go, right? So as opposed to just
Like,
being burnt out in one go. So makes a difference.
instead of living day for day, we're kind of like, hey, what's the long term strategy here? Like, what are we
Right.
what we want to do, where we want to get,
Okay.
and that's a
Well,
good thing.
when you're not doing consulting and you're not doing that sort of thing, what do you do for fun? I mean, other than your other 1,000 Web3 project, but what do you do for fun outside of the Web3 world? What do you do when you go outside?
My hobby is picking up new hobbies, um, and that is, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I was just telling somebody that I recently started building Lego out of tiny little pieces. I'm doing those like really ridiculous,
Oh, that's so
Lego.
cool.
Like, I know,
Is
right?
that
That's
is
that's
that
amazing.
3D?
That is 3D,
Oh
yes.
my gosh, it sticks out. That's so cool. I like
And
that.
it's all of the pieces are tiny, and it takes hours to complete one of those,
Right.
but it's so much fun. And I think I'm
Mm.
going to be bored with that in probably a week. Um, but yeah, I try to keep myself busy and kind of like have a life outside of work, and I try to teach myself drawing and calligraphy. I'm trying to teach myself playing the piano and all of that.
Oh, nice.
Um, I mean, we live in an age when you have all of the information and all of the knowledge of the world
Yes.
in the palm of your hand. Like, everything is one YouTube search away, right?
Pretty much.
So That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that.
That's interesting unto itself, right? The fact that you're collecting different hobbies and trying different things and experimenting, really trying to find spice to life makes life worth trying out. Interesting.
It Yeah, I mean, and I love what I do.
Hmm.
And that's why I try to like disconnect from time to time to kind of like make sure that I don't get burnout and I don't stop loving what I do.
Hmm.
Because I feel that this is important. And the world is full of people who are obviously not loving what they're doing, and they're only doing that for, I don't know, to pay their bills and rent, and I don't know. They're not really like they're not coming home from work with a sense of satisfaction that
Right.
one should have at the end of every day. And life is too short not to feel that like that.
Well, what does the quote say? If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? So that's a really
Oh, don't
interesting
get me wrong. I
position.
still work. It's hard work. I think this is, this phrase is BS if you're asking me. Like, if you love what you do, I think you work 10 times harder. Um, but you finish your day and you're like, hey, that was a good day. I did something good.
You accomplished
And
something.
you feel good about yourself, and maybe you're not gonna be in the history books with what you did, with the campaigns that I did throughout the day, or the calls that I had with clients or with teammates, but I feel good about myself. I have this, yeah, I have that feeling of satisfaction, that feeling of accomplishing something that is meaningful in a way, because at the end of the
That's
day,
all there is. That's all there is at the end of the day.
yeah, and that's the other thing. That's the other thing. If you think about it, during the day, we have bigger tasks and smaller tasks, and they kind of like, some of them feel a little bit menial, and some of them are more exciting. But it's just, it feels like, yeah, it's work, and I love it, and it's work. But then when you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, what we're building in crypto and Web3 is
Hmm.
the future of the internet.
Yes.
And that gives me pause. Like every time I remind myself of that fact, it gives me pause, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, what we're doing is actually pretty important. It is, it's major.
It's the digital pioneer, right? So
Yeah, I
very
mean,
cool.
excuse me for having that ego blast. But
No, no, it's all good. Like you said. I mean, if you're satisfied, I mean, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Food, water, shelter, everything's taken care of. Now it's
yeah,
self-actualization. If you're doing something that helps you fulfill that, then all the more power to you.
absolutely, absolutely. And if that inspires somebody else to get out of a career that they don't love, and find their passion, then good for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's more, there's more joy to life. So cool. Well, we're at the end here where it's the last question really. And the last question really is just give people a reason to reach out. Why should they connect with you? How should they connect with you? And like what platform do you want them to connect with you on?
Why they should connect with me? Most likely, if they need a marketing service,
Hmm.
they should get in touch with me, so that I can introduce them to the marvelous team at Serotonin.
Okay.
Another reason to get in touch with me is I'm full of really, really bad dad jokes. So if you want to get a really, really bad dad joke, and it's so bad that it's actually funny because of how bad it is,
Nice.
get in touch with me. A channel would be probably Twitter. I spent the majority of my life on crypto Twitter, and my
Okay.
handle there is Let Me Dazzle. Yeah, I have a four-letter Twitter handle.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, I'm old. um, I signed up for Twitter when four-letter handles were still available, but people can find me at INKS at Inks.
Inks. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Just goes
this
to show
is
how long you've been playing the game. That's amazing. That's really cool.
one of the benefits of being an OG.
Hey, OG's got his perks. Well, Vanina, thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna follow you on Twitter. I mean, a four letter man, that's hardcore. And yeah, looking forward to I hope you post your dad jokes on Twitter. So
Sometimes, but every time I do, I lose followers. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. DM me, just DM me for the bad jokes.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate you coming on board, and thank you for sharing your insight.
Thank you for having me, Earl. It's been a pleasure.